Okay, so you're here with us on the deep dive because, well, we all love our cars, right? And who doesn't love that feeling of a freshly detailed, like showroom shine?
It's the best.
Yeah. But then life happens, and between the sun and the, bird bombs and little scratches, that shine starts to fade.
Yeah, it's inevitable. It's the sad truth of car ownership.
It really is. So today we're diving deep into something you might have heard about ceramic coating. We're going to get into what it actually is, how it works, the pros and cons, and whether it's really worth the hype, especially if you're thinking about doing it yourself.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much information out there. It's easy to get lost in the weeds.
Exactly. So our mission
hmm
today is to cut through all that noise and give you the essential facts, everything you really need to know to make an informed decision about ceramic coating for your car.
Absolutely. And we've done the homework, dug through all the sources, the articles, the forum posts, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah, so you don't have to. So let's jump right in. One of the first things you'll notice when you start looking at ceramic coatings is that a lot of them are labeled as, pro this or pro that. What's the deal with that?
Yeah, you see that a lot. It's essentially a way for brands to differentiate their product lines.
Okay,
Usually, that pro designation indicates a higher grade product within a specific brand's offerings.
got it.
It might mean it's got enhanced performance, maybe it's got a higher concentration of the active ingredients, or offers some additional benefits compared to their standard products.
So it's like the premium option within their range.
Exactly.
Okay, so for those of us who might be hearing about ceramic coating for the first time, can you give us the elevator pitch? What exactly is it?
It's essentially a liquid polymer that, when applied to your car's paint, forms a super durable, transparent protective layer.
So it's like an extra layer of clear coat.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
It's like adding a super strong shield over your existing paint job.
Okay, so what makes it so tough? What's in this magic potion?
The primary ingredient in most ceramic coatings is silica.
Silica.
Yep, it's the same stuff you find in sand and quartz.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and this silica is suspended in a resin.
Okay.
And when this mixture is exposed to the air, it starts to harden. It goes through a chemical reaction and forms that incredibly strong protective layer.
So it's like it hardens on contact with air.
Pretty much.
Interesting. So if I get this coating on my car, what kind of things is it actually going to protect against? Will it stop door dings in a parking lot?
Well, a ceramic coating isn't going to prevent those big dents or dings from, like a shopping cart or another car door.
Okay, good, because I was a little worried about that.
But what it will do is protect against those lighter scratches,
Right.
the kind you might get from, washing your car or from dust and debris on the road.
Okay.
And one of the biggest benefits is that it protects against UV damage, which can really dull your paint over time.
Yeah, that's a big one, especially here where we get so much sun. Okay,
Mhm.
so it's more about preserving that like factory fresh look against those everyday wear and tear.
Exactly.
Okay, one of the coolest things I've seen about ceramic coatings is how water just beads up and rolls off a car almost like magic. Is that a standard feature with all ceramic coatings, or do I need to look for something specific?
That's actually a hallmark of high-quality ceramic coatings.
Okay.
It's called the hydrophobic effect.
Okay.
It basically means that the coating repels water, and the better the coating, the more pronounced this effect will be.
So the water just like beads up and slides right on.
Exactly. And that makes it way easier to keep your car clean.
Yeah, that makes sense because you're not getting those like water spots and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so speaking of fancy features, there are also these coatings that advertise graphene. Is that legit, or is it just a marketing gimmick?
It's definitely more than just a buzzword. Graphene is a real material,
Okay.
and reputable brands are actually incorporating it into their ceramic coating formulas.
Okay, so what's so special about graphene? How does it improve a ceramic coating?
Well, graphene is this incredibly thin, super strong material.
Yep.
It's basically a single layer of carbon atoms arranged in a honeycomb pattern.
Okay.
And when you add it to a ceramic coating, it can significantly enhance the coating's hardness, it can improve its chemical resistance, and it can even extend its lifespan.
So it's like giving the ceramic coating a little extra boost.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, but I imagine just throwing some graphene into the mix isn't enough. What's the catch?
You're absolutely right. It's not that simple.
Okay.
If you just mix in some cheap graphene oxide powder, you're not going to get the desired results.
Okay.
In fact, the graphene particles can clump together and settle out, which actually weakens the coating.
So the magic is in the mixing.
Exactly.
How is it done right then?
Properly incorporating graphene into a ceramic coating involves a sophisticated infusion process.
Okay.
It has to be done at the molecular level to ensure that the graphene is evenly dispersed throughout the coating. And this results in a clear solution, which is what you want, because you don't want the graphene to obscure the color of your car's paint.
So it's like the graphene becomes part of the ceramic coating itself.
Yes, it's a much more complex and precise process than just mixing in some powder.
Makes sense.
Oh.
Okay, now I want to address some concerns I've seen floating around online, some questions that, people might be a little afraid to ask. I saw a question online that said, does porcelain burn? And I'm pretty sure they were talking about ceramic coating.
Hey, you're probably right.
Okay, so let's talk about safety.
Yeah, absolutely.
Should people be worried about, burning their skin if they accidentally touch the coating?
It's a valid concern.
Yeah.
So during the application phase, when the ceramic coating is still in its liquid form, it's important to wear gloves.
Right.
Because it does contain solvents that can potentially irritate the skin.
Okay.
But once the coating has cured, it's generally safe to touch. However, it's always a good idea to err on the side of caution and wash your hands after contact, just in case.
Good advice. Now, what about damage to the car itself? Can the ceramic coating actually burn the paint?
No, the ceramic coating itself won't chemically burn or damage your car's paint.
Okay.
The materials used in ceramic coatings are designed to be inert, meaning they don't react with the paint's surface.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, so there's no risk of a chemical reaction that would damage the paint.
But I have heard about people using heat lamps to help cure the coating. Is there a risk of burning the paint with those?
There is a potential for what we might call a physical burn during the curing process, but that's typically due to operator error.
Okay.
If the heat lamp is placed too close to the car's surface or left on for too long, the excessive heat can damage the paint.
Makes sense.
This is why it's so important to have a trained and experienced professional apply the coating, especially when using heat lamps.
Okay, so it's not the coating itself, it's more about the application. Okay, so let's talk about the elephant in the room. How does ceramic coating stack up against good old-fashioned car wax?
Okay, well, let's break it down.
Yeah.
When you compare ceramic coating to wax, there are several key areas to consider. The finish, the level of protection, the durability or longevity, how easy it is to use and maintain, the versatility of the product, and even its potential impact on the car's resale value.
Okay, let's go one by one. First up, the finish. Which one gives you that head-turning shine?
Ceramic coating definitely wins in this category.
Okay.
It provides a much deeper gloss and a slickness that you just can't achieve with traditional wax.
Oh, so it's more than just shine. It's like how smooth it feels.
Exactly.
Okay, what about protection? How do they compare in terms of shielding your car from, the elements and those everyday scratches?
Ceramic coating is the clear winner here as well.
Yeah.
It offers a much higher level of protection against, light scratches, UV rays, bird droppings, tree sap, you name it.
Wow. Okay, so ceramic coating is tougher and it lasts longer.
Yeah, we're talking potentially years of protection with a single application.
Wow, okay. But I imagine all this comes at a cost. What about the ease of use? Isn't applying a ceramic coating a really complicated process?
It can be, yes. Especially if you're using a professional-grade product, it usually requires specialized equipment and a lot of prep work.
Okay.
So professional installation is generally recommended for those types of coatings.
So higher initial investment, but less hassle down the line.
Exactly.
Okay. What about versatility? Can you use ceramic coating on more than just the paint?
That's another advantage of ceramic coatings.
Okay.
You can use them on pretty much any exterior surface of your car, including the paint, the wheels, the glass, the trim, even the headlights.
Oh, wow. Okay, so you can protect pretty much the entire car with it.
Exactly.
And lastly, does a ceramic coating actually increase the resale value of your car?
It can, yes.
Okay.
Because it helps preserve the condition of the paint and keeps the car looking newer for longer.
Makes sense.
Buyers are usually willing to pay a premium for a well-maintained car.
Okay, so all in all, it seems like ceramic coating offers some pretty significant advantages over traditional wax. So a question that popped into my head. If it's this great, why don't car manufacturers just apply it at the factory?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
The main reason is cost and time. Applying a ceramic coating correctly is a labor-intensive process.
Okay.
It involves meticulous preparation of the paint surface, and the application itself is often done by hand.
Okay.
And then there's the curing time.
Right.
All of this would add significant time and expense to the car manufacturing process.
So it's a trade-off between efficiency and, going the extra mile.
Right.
Okay, so for our listeners who are really considering getting a ceramic coating, what are the key benefits they should keep in mind?
The main benefits are enhanced protection against scratches, swirl marks, and UV damage, improved water beading and self-cleaning properties, which makes washing much easier, a deeper, richer gloss, and potentially increased resale value. Plus, with proper maintenance, a ceramic coating can last for several years.
Those are some pretty compelling advantages. Now, a lot of people are curious about whether you can apply wax on top of a ceramic coating. What's your take on that?
My recommendation is to avoid waxing over a ceramic coating.
Okay.
Wax won't bond properly to the ceramic surface, and it can actually interfere with the coating's hydrophobic properties.
Okay, so it's not going to damage the coating, but it's just not necessary.
Exactly.
Okay, so for those ready to take the plunge, what should they look for when choosing a ceramic coating product?
There are several factors to consider, like the type of coating, the durability, the ease of application, the required prep work, and the curing time.
Okay, can you break that down a little bit more for us? Like, what are the different types of coatings available?
Sure, there are professional grade coatings, which typically offer the best performance and durability.
Okay.
And then there are DIY coatings, which are easier to apply but may not last as long.
Okay, so if you're going for the long haul, professional is probably the way to go.
In most cases, yes.
Okay. And how about durability? What should people look for there?
Look for coatings that offer a lifespan of at least a few years.
Okay.
And make sure to read the manufacturer's recommendations for maintenance to ensure the coating lasts as long as possible.
Okay, so what about ease of application? I've heard that applying ceramic coatings can be pretty tricky.
It can be, yes, especially for professional grade coatings.
Okay.
That's why professional installation is usually recommended for those.
Makes sense. What about prep work? What kind of things need to be done before applying a ceramic coating?
The car's surface needs to be thoroughly cleaned and decontaminated to ensure proper adhesion of the coating.
Oh.
And depending on the condition of the paint, it may also need to be polished to remove any imperfections.
Okay. And finally, what about curing time? How long does it take for a ceramic coating to fully harden?
It varies depending on the specific product, but it can take anywhere from a few days to a couple of weeks.
Wow. Okay, so it's not something you just slap on and go.
Not exactly.
Okay, so a lot of listeners might be wondering if it makes sense to apply a ceramic coating to a brand new car right away. What's your recommendation?
Absolutely. Applying a ceramic coating to a new car is a great way to protect that factory fresh paint.
Okay.
The coating will help prevent scratches, swirl marks, and UV damage, and it will make the car much easier to keep clean.
So it's like preserving that new car's shine for as long as possible.
Exactly.
Now, what if someone is really sold on getting a ceramic coating, but they're just not comfortable doing it themselves? Are professionally applied ceramic coatings really worth the extra cost?
They can be, yes.
Oh.
Professionals have the experience and the equipment to ensure proper application and achieve the best results.
Okay, and they probably have access to those higher-end products too, right? Okay, so for someone whose car's paint maybe isn't in the best shape, should they get a ceramic coating right away, or should they wait until they get some paint correction done?
Well, if the paint has significant damage, like deep scratches or swirl marks, it's generally a good idea to have those corrected before applying a ceramics coating,
Okay.
because the coating will seal in those imperfections, making them permanent.
So it's like putting a protective layer over, a damaged surface.
Exactly.
Okay. To sum up, what are the most important things for our listeners to remember about ceramic coatings?
Ceramic coatings provide a significant level of protection against scratches, UV damage, and environmental contaminants. They make washing easier, and they enhance the shine of your car's paint.
Yeah, and they can last for years with proper maintenance.
Exactly. While DIY options are available, professional application is often the best choice for optimal results and longevity. And finally, consider paint correction before applying a ceramic coating if your car's paint has significant damage.
Excellent advice. So thinking about all we've learned today, is a ceramic coating a good investment? Not just for protecting your car, but also for saving you time and effort in the long run. What aspect of ceramic coating, that long-lasting durability, the hydrophobic magic, or that potential resale value bump, speaks to you the most? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive today.
Thank you for having me. It's been great.
Yeah, I've enjoyed it.